For EP, climbing walls and handholds is our business, but that's really not why we're here. We're here to enrich people's lives and introduce climbing to the world. We know that once somebody gets an opportunity to go indoors and climb on a climbing wall, that they're going to be hooked and they're going to be a climber for life.
Hello and welcome back to Baku in Azerbaijan, the city of 2 million people that faces the Caspian Sea. It is finals time here, the bouldering finals, the second comp of the 2014 IFSC season, and an exciting set of qualifiers and semi-finals have brought us up to here. A change around from Chongqing. We now see Rustam Gelmanov and Kilian Fischuber back on form. We didn't think it was going to happen at the start of this season. It started to already. They qualify at the top of the men's pack here. We also have Dmitry Sharafutinov back in that mix and Jeremy Bonder back in as well. Also a surprise for Japan with Fuji Kokoro, who's made it through, the only athlete to make it into the finals with 2 tops instead of 3 in the men's. But let's see whether he can pull something out of the bag as we wait to see how the finals unfold. Over in the women's then, we see the change around as well. Alex Puccio now back on peak form. After a bit of a tricky time of things last week in Chongqing, she's looking to fight this one out again as well. Anna Storr in the mix. We also have Shauna Coxey in the mix and Eula Worm as well. On that note, it's also interesting to go back to last week into Chongqing and the 2 German athletes that took the joint gold at the very start of our season. Now, we spoke earlier on today with Udo, their coach, Udo Neumann, and here's what he had to say on how to train like the Germans.
My name is Udo Neumann, and since 5 years I'm the coach of the German bouldering team. We have a different coach for the lead climbers, but I'm doing this part of the season. Yeah.
Obviously a massive amount of success for you at the first comp of the year, Chongqing. How was that competition for you? How were you feeling after that event?
Oh, well, the nice thing for me personally is that we had a really nice atmosphere beforehand. We kind of messed up our hotel. We went to the wrong hotel first. After 3 days we realized that nobody else is there, but we did some great preparation when we went to this so-called Olympic Center. We played basketball for half a day, and then later we changed to a playground. And for me it's very important to get into a relaxed atmosphere. And I think that showed, sometimes it doesn't work, but in this case, in Chongqing, it translated really nicely into the competition. Yeah.
That was one of the things I wanted to speak to you about. We've spoke before about this, that the idea that you're not just training the athletes to go out and attack, you're actually training an entire human being and how they think and how they move and work. And one of your biggest methods is to get them to do strange and obscure things, different sports. Talk to us a little bit about how you employ that in their training.
Yeah, the bouldering is about creativity, and human beings are creative when they are relaxed, and especially when it's okay to make mistakes. And so I find it really problematic to apply pressure from my side on them. You know, I never tell them, yeah, we're expecting a lot from you, and go out and kick some ass or so, because I find that they make their own pressure themselves. You know, I much rather try to get them into a relaxed mode. And one way to do this is, as I said, is to playfully try new things, where it's totally okay to, since it's new things, nobody can do them from the start on. So it's okay to make mistakes. I think this is a big part of bouldering, you know, that it's difficult. You know, not everyone is equal. For some people it's really difficult to get into this mindset, but bouldering is really about mistakes. As Thomas Alva Edison said, I fail myself to success. And that's basically what we're doing, you know? And it creates just a nice dynamics within the group, because all the playgrounds are different, and we basically arrived at this playground. We say, okay, let's try to squeeze all the opportunity this playground has to offer out of it.
It's definitely working the way that you're employing this method with your athletes. You've just recently moved Jan and Eula to the same training facility, and you're working the team more as a collective now. What kind of a basis do you work on a week? I mean, how often do you get these guys in, and what kind of things are you doing in your training?
Actually, we don't have the resources to really that I could have moved them. That was just a lucky coincidence that Jan lives in Cologne too, and in this gym where he always trained has exactly to offer what Jule needed in her climbing. And also being with Jan, she really this winter she really had a lot of hard moves that she wanted to do, and succeeded just before the Chongqing competition too. And also in general in training there's lots of coincidences, if you know, but also both of them matured a lot over the last years. You know, Jan said last year he would have done a lot of mistakes, like when he couldn't climb the first slabs on both the qualification and semis. Last year maybe he would have be so depressed that he wouldn't enjoy the next problems, and they're all strong, those guys. And so what happens between your ears, that's the most important thing. And they both matured a lot in this respect. So I think my contribution to this is mainly that sometimes I pose the right questions and they think about it and maybe hopefully draw the right conclusion. But that's about it. You know, there's hardly anything that I tell them and then they do this, and this is a it works like this, you know. It's mostly like where I'm saying, oh, maybe try this and this, or I maybe mock them, and they pretend, oh, no, Udo, what are you talking about, you know? And then, but in the night, they think, ah, damn it, you know. At least I don't want Udo to mock me like this, you know. And so it's very informal, and yeah, I like it this way. As I said, we don't have the resources like the French to really have them all together, and it's so possible. The French want to have all the people living and training in Fontainebleau and moving them in their workplace and their university. This is impossible, really. In Germany we can't do this, you know, so we really have to work differently.
Well, a very warm welcome to you. Welcome back to Baku. We are here for the second Boulder Finals of 2014, live with you now from Azerbaijan. First thing I want to do is introduce my co-commentator all the way through this finals tonight, and that is James Kasey. How are you, James?
Very good, Dan. Thank you very much for having me.
I've lost an Australian because Chris isn't here, so I thought I've got to find a new Australian.
Yes, very true. It would be nice to be competing today, but we can't make all the finals, so.
No, one of the things I was talking to you about before as well was which we'll get onto more later on, I think, is the caliber switch that's happened this year and your performances right up the very top. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Tough call, 7th place, just missed out on that final. For now, though, as you can see, the guys here are having their observation period. And while that's happening, let's hear from what our chief route setter had to say here. That is Thomas Oleski.
Women's first. Women's first is a tricky double dyno one, and at the first section, and then upper part is a crimp-reel style. So the second one is a very powerful one, volumes. About the level of difficult, the first one is middle hard. The second one is also middle hard. The third one is a slab one, more balance move. And the fourth one is a shoulder move. It consists shoulder moves and probably the hardest also. In my opinion, it will be the last one will be the selection one, and I don't know how to say. Exciting. I think it's most exciting. Yeah.
Talk us through the men's then as well. What are we looking at with the men?
What about the men's? First, men's in the final will be. We start with the jumpy style at the beginning, and then the upper part is compression one. It's a middle hard one. The second one will be contortion, tricky, mantle, very flat one. Mantle will be at the end. And third one is we call Star Trek one, volumes one. This will be nice look on this profile, I think. And the last one is really American style acrobatic. So it will be nice to put this one for the last one.
Who have you had on your team here? Who are the team that you've had together for setting?
Yeah, we're setting with Jackie Godow and Marcin Wszołek from Poland as well. So 3 people working all weeks with the. We had some trouble, critical point, but at the end I hope it will be okay.
Thomas, thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you.
Brief chat there then with our chief route setter here, Thomas Oleski. And just now that our athletes are starting to move back into isolation, getting prepared for the start of this final, the second of 2014, let's hear from a couple of our athletes here on a couple of quick tips for certain problems or certain moves that might cause a couple of issues for us during the finals. Let's hear from Eula on how to handle compression, and let's hear from Shauna Coxey on how to deal with slopers. Might help you with your training. Here we go.
I train a lot with rings. Like I'd be in a push-up position and do like this. And also I do a lot of compression boulders where I try to use arrêts and slopers and then do compression moves. Yeah.
So do you work it into your training as a set thing that you do it one day a week, or is it just part of your training whenever you're doing anything? Just make sure that you're covering the base that is compression.
I think on rings I maybe train like twice a week, and I don't really have a plan for compression boulders, but I do it maybe once a week or so.
How important has that maximum power become for women recently? Has it become more and more difficult? We're seeing powerhouses emerge where, like Alex, for example, Alex Puccio, that masters of big, powerful moves. Have you noticed a shift in the past few years where that's become expected of you?
Yeah, I think the boulders became harder, and there's always in semis and in finals at least one boulder which is really like maximum power and compression or far moves on really tiny holes, and yeah, I think it became more and more important.
So rings and push-ups are the way forward?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Eula, thank you.
Thank you.
To train on slopers, to get better at climbing on slopers, you need to climb on them more, basically. Set problems with them in, specifically get on boulders that have slopers on, and just try and get to grips with them, because it's the best way to learn, really. You need to think about body positioning, and you can't learn that just on a fingerboard or anything like that. You need to actually move on them.
Is there any specific training part of it that you would include in terms of, is it anything to do with building up overall hand strength? Is there anything that you do include in training for sloping?
To train specifically for slopers, you can do it off the wall as well. You can use a Peacemaker, for example, which has two different types of slopers on. So there's a 35-degree one and a 45, I think there is. And they're a really great way to train because they're wooden and you don't lose skin, and it's really friendly. So it really teaches you how to hold on to them. But to get the movement aspect, you need to get on the wall.
And you've been in Spain recently, so in terms of the best blocks out there that are, the best on-rock experience for working on this specific move on a sloper, where would you say is a good place to go if anyone's looking at going outside?
A great place to go outside to get better at slopers is Albarracín. I was recently there, and there are some crimps and some interesting features, but nearly all of the top outs are really slopey and mantles, and you really, I find it so difficult. I had projects that are V4 there still because I just couldn't get to grips with the slopers, but I mean, it must have helped because it's been helping last weekend and it made a big difference to my climbing, so yeah, it's definitely the place to be.
Shauna, thank you, that was perfect.
No problem, thank you.
Nice to catch up there with a couple of the big names on the circuit. We're going to be seeing both of them in action in a few moments' time as we get ready to move into this, our final. But let's have a look at who's going to be in that final now. These are our start lists for you coming up now, starting off with the women then. Just have a chat through briefly with James Cassay, my co-commentator here for tonight's finals. These 6 female athletes then, we're seeing pretty much a powerhouse final here, right?
Yeah, definitely got the usual 5 in there, and then sort of Mina snuck in.
Mina, one of the ones that we've seen, let's talk about her for a moment. I mean, she had a gold medal in Log Dragomir a couple of years ago, and obviously she's the big lead girl. We see her just dominating on a lead circuit up against Kim Yain and Momoka Oda, actually, who's just missed out on the Boulder final as well. In terms of how she deals with the transfer into the bouldering, do you think there's anything that she needs to work more on, or that's the reason that we see her occasionally slipping out of this final 6 in bouldering?
I suppose it depends on the style of problems. I'm not quite as powerful as the other girls, especially someone like Alex. So in that regards, if there's lots of dynos or big powerful compression problems, it might not be quite up there. But when it comes to the techie stuff, then yeah, no issues.
And obviously the endurance as well from her, you know, doing sets of blocks or semis into a final, she can deal with being tired.
Yeah, for that, sure. Yep.
So then also looking at our other lineup here, Anna Storr and Shauna Coxey in the mix. That we've seen them chasing each other over the past couple of years, and Shauna desperately trying to get this gold medal, fighting for it. Could be in with a chance tonight. Anna Storr last week, a bit of an up and down final there for her. At one point Shauna almost did take the gold. Going on to Akio Noguchi as well, big name, always there, but always number 2. Do you think there's anything we could see from Akio over the next year where she starts to challenge Anna? Is there anything she's doing wrong, or is it just that Anna is that strong that we just can't stop her?
I think just Anna was on a great roll last year. It's like no one could keep up, no one could compare, so who knows what's going to happen there.
And you've got Eula Worm as well, obviously the big victory last week. You were in there, you were in the mix, you were in the final. How was the setting there? How did you enjoy Chongqing? What was it like for you from a male perspective?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. There was a good challenge, good mix of problems in there. Obviously, I found the finals pretty difficult, but I suppose everyone did. So it was a good challenge. You got the split, so it did what it had to do.
And then we've got Alex Puccio, who's been powering her way through this entire competition here, at the very top of the pile. This is in reverse order, remember, as well. So Mina Markovic, although she's first out, is actually 6th in the ranking at the moment, and countback could be all important as we move forward. Alex Puccio then very, very top of the pile, 3 and 5, I believe, from earlier on today. And it just, those set of blocks just really suited her style by the look of things. It was the compression, the big, powerful moves.
Yeah, I think qualies and semis were very much Alex's style. Looking at the finals, though, they do look quite different. So it'll be interesting to see how she does perform on them, whether she can keep it together and keep working on it, or if she just gets a bit confused on them. We'll see.
Let's pop over onto the men now then and have a little look at the lineup for our finals here. So an unknown, well, a relatively unknown, sneaking into the final 6 here, just managing to get in 6th place after 2 tops in 5 and 4 bonuses in 7 here. That is Fuji Kokoro for Japan. There's a big support base as well for this young 21-year-old Japanese athlete from obviously the team that are here as well. Now he came 14th last week and suddenly just skyrocketed today and made it through. Have you heard of this guy before? Do you know much about him?
No, I don't much about his history or whatnot, but I suppose the difference between coming 14th and making finals these days is pretty close. There's not much in it. So yes, he came 14th, but it might not have been by far.
Well, we did see him a bit last year. We saw him in Munich, the Boulder World Cup there. He came 21st. We saw him in Innsbruck last year as well. He came 35th. And Log Dragomir last year 31st. So there's definitely been increasing all the way through that. But he is an Asian youth champion. That was in Singapore back in 2011 in the lead category there, Fuji Kokoro. And he's here now, made it through to the top 6 in 6th place. Sorry. So he'll be the first one to come out for us today. Jan Hoyer, man who's starting to need very little introduction, really. I mean, just an absolute powerhouse. You were with him competing on the same blocks last week. How was it being up against someone like Jan?
Oh, Jan's great. He's such a nice guy. So it's really, I suppose I've been in the finals twice and have been in there with him both times. So it's great to have him to hang out with and to learn off as well.
Jeremy Bonder as well then for France. Another one that we have seen in finals before. We've seen in the mix-up, frequent, very good competitor all the way through, but great to see him again back here on good form, making it through to the finals in 4th place, just behind Dmitry Sharafutinov, who's been bumped down here. And this is the big thing I wanted to talk to you about, James, is Kilian Rustam all of a sudden just bang on form again, like 2nd comp of the year. Obviously needed the warm-up or something, but we saw Rustam at the Quiff at the start of this year, the Climbing Works International Festival, and he wasn't having a great time. We saw him in Chongqing, not a great time. Kilian didn't seem switched on last week. What do you think's happened? Do you think it was just the warm-up gig?
Yeah, I suppose the setting in China was quite different to here. These blocks seem to suit them, the shapes of the boulders, the style of the holds. There's lots of small crimps on them, so for Rustam in particular, well, great strength for him, so he doesn't seem to have any difficulty there.
Right, what we're going to do now then, guys, is we are waiting for our first athletes to emerge. We're going to flash back to another little bit of a catch-up with one of our competitors from last year, the king of qualifying rounds. We're going to catch up with Jone Kruder of the Slovenian team.
Well, for sure it's training, because we worked really hard this season. I think every boulder is flashable, especially in qualification round, because it can always happen that you can have like really easy ones. So you just have to focus and try to flash everything. Even today, when the boulders were quite hard, everything is possible. So you have to keep that in your mind.
But you always seem to have a good run in qualis. You did that all the way through last year. You're doing it again this year. Do you think it's a mindset thing? Do you think that for you it's more relaxing, that you feel comfortable and confident in the qualifications?
Well, maybe previous years was like that maybe it was more a mental game. This year I was really in a good shape, I must say. After I felt okay, my mind was okay. But unfortunately, I injured my shoulder on the first semi-boulder. I don't know, maybe it was also, I felt the pain during the next few boulders. We actually looked the videos from the semis, so we analyzed it. We said that it might be that because I couldn't climb with 100% power. Even today, I had like since China, I had all days free, so I didn't climb, and I still felt pain. So today I was actually quite lucky, because I must say that I was climbing at least at 50% of my power. So I think it's not a problem in the mind this year. So I think I fixed that. So we'll see during the season. Well, we have good areas around. We go outdoors a lot, especially the good competitors. They are also really good outdoor climbers, and there are a lot of young climbers coming here. So it's getting tougher and tougher every year, even for me. Even this season, at the start of the season, I didn't feel so powerful as now, and it was really hard to me to get back into the shape, because I had like pressure from all around me, and
So nice to catch up brutally quick there with Jone Kruder. Unfortunately, we've got to come away here, and we're going to go straight onto the wall here with Mina Markovic, the first female athlete out. Fuji Kokoro also out on M1 here. This is F1, so talk us, James, through the start of this block here. She's just moving up away from the start holds. What's this looking like here?
Did a nice technical start, good drop knee in that one. Looking at it for me, it looked quite powerful at the end. Looks like it's going to be quite a dynamic move to the last hold.
You've got this traverse here moving across. She's getting a heel hook now over with the left. Up to the bonus on the first attempt here. A little bit of a slip there, down onto the ground again. You can just see Fuji Kokoro in the background there. Here he is over on M1. So looking at M1 then, what are we thinking of this, James?
Looks like it's got a tricky start to it, quite a dynamic move. He's sort of awkward to pull on, and then I don't know, you might be able to do it a sneaky way, try and static up to the small hold on the feature and then get to the bonus. But looking at it, I think it's probably going to be a 1-2 to the bonus, the hold below it. And then the dynamic move out, heel up, and then make your way to the finish hold.
He's trying to do it a little bit safer there. Get up and hold on with the left and try and swing, but then that's bringing him away from the wall.
I think the problem doing it that way is the right hand's just on the volume. You've got a thumb catch, but the volume's not that good.
Start this one then, bit of an undercling there from Mina and a Gaston, looking like with the left hand there. Up onto the first pyramid with the right.
Venus had some really
Into
good
the drop knee
results
again.
from last year. She was third women's lead IFSC Climbing Competition in Slovenia.
Slopers.
Women's lead.
Yes, squeeze as much as you can. It'll be interesting to see how the girls go with this last move, whether they can keep that left heel on and make it out to the last hold, or if they're going to have to commit and do the jump.
Do you think there's anything in getting that right foot at all anywhere higher, or is it just going to be relying on this left heel hook here?
I think it's relying on that heel. If you get too high, it might pop you off.
She's trying to do something here, trying to get a bit of a smear or something. Close here, but she's turning away from the wall. Really wants that toe hook back on.
She doesn't want to commit. She doesn't want to go dynamically, that's for sure.
Bit more, maybe that's the lead climber in her speaking out. Stay with what you know. Definitely trying to do something with that other foot there.
The last hold looks quite positive, so as long as she can... There you go.
Just making sure she's a little bit safe about it after that first fall by the look of things here. Guys, if you are joining us across any of the platforms here, wherever you're joining us from, you can of course get in touch with us. The hashtag is in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. You know where to go. You can get in touch with us on Twitter using the hashtag IFSCWC. Any questions for either myself or for James, send them in to us. Looking forward to spending some time with you this evening as we go through our finals here. Over to Fujikakoru then again. This is looking better. That's the bonus now so far then. Just to explain as well for anyone that's new to the sport, these athletes at this stage have 4+ minutes. So you see the timer has run out there, but Fujikakoru is still making his attempts and he's managed to get to the top and he's allowed to do so. Once that timer's run out, as long as you're still on the wall, you can carry on making that attempt. So let's talk a little bit about last week then, James, and for yourself in Chongqing, that final for you. The mental aspect of going into a final for the second time, did you feel a little bit more relaxed about being in front of the crowds, the timers?
Yeah, it definitely was relaxed. I suppose, as I mentioned to you, I only go out there and concentrate on doing one thing, and that's trying to get to the top of the boulders. I thought I would be a bit more nervous than I was, but no, it seemed to work out fine. I quite enjoyed being out there.
And I know that you do a lot of work out on rock as well. You like to get out and into the wilderness and do your own little projects, but it's incredibly belittling. Little projects, the big projects, they're big projects. You like to go out and do your own projects, but in terms of the difference from having a timer put against you when you're having to climb at this sort of level of climbing, does that make a vast difference to how you are mentally?
It definitely does. That's why I like the challenge of the comps. I suppose technically the boulders aren't really that hard. It's just a matter of trying to get them done in 4 or 5 minutes, and that's what makes it so challenging. It's the type of the boulders tend to be quite different. They're different styles, so you really have to think about what you're doing and try and do the problem solving. So that aspect of it is just great.
We're over with Jan and Anna Stor here now. Then Anna already up onto this section. We could expect, or we should expect to see Anna committing to that dynamic a little bit more. Jan just not wasting any time. A little bit of a pull-up at the top there. Good, the beast is back.
No issue on that one, that's for sure.
See you, Jan. Thanks for coming. Back over to Anna then. We shouldn't see much of, or too much of a delay here really from her to commit to it. There it is. First attempt, very nice start to the final for Anna Stor here. Used to that more dynamic style of climbing. We're going to see that again from Anna, from Akio Noguchi in a moment as well. Shauna's pretty much the only one that I've seen recently been stumped a couple of times on the more dynamic moves. In terms of how much you do with how much you're using dynamic style of training when you are training, how much do you try and include things like that?
It just comes down to confidence. So I've been trying to do a little bit more of that lately. I suppose I used to always be quite a static climber, and that's what I found last year. I was trying to climb really safely, and you just can't do that on these problems. You have to really commit and just go for it. So you've got to put it all on the line and do what you can.
So a flash from Anna and a flash from Jan there. We're now back over onto the wall. Shauna Coxey back out then. As we said a few months ago, I've seen her struggle during this competition actually to try and get a handle on the dynos that she's been doing. More often than not making them second time, but we've seen a lot of the female athletes, I think it was F4 earlier on, that would just pop in straight for it, no problem at all. Let's hope that Shauna can do the same thing here.
Well, I know Shauna's been in Baku here for the last week, so obviously no gym to train in. So last time on the wall was China, so that does make a difference. Does make a difference for your confidence.
No problem at all there. Not so big a pop though, was a little bit more secure about it, knew where she was going, got herself ready and went straight for it. There's a flash there then from Shauna. Jeremy Boulder on the ground here, having a little look at this one. It looked like Jan was approaching this a different way to what we saw from Fuji Kokoro. If there are a couple of ways of doing it, what would you expect from Jeremy Boulder, who's one of the shorter climbers here?
I think, as I mentioned, he might go quite dynamically up to the bonus, and then with his right hand and left hand into the other one. Yes.
See, now Jan completely bypassed that hold. Due to the height, he just went straight up for the top from the bonus hold. I mean, I think he'd got a hand up on this one.
Definitely for the shorter guys, using the feature is going to be a safer option. The last hold's a big pocket, but being a pocket, you've got to be quite precise with it.
Question in then on the feed from Jakob, saying, what about the conditions for bouldering in Baku right now, temperature and wind, etc. I'm going to hand that over to James because he's been out and in it today.
Well, it's been on and off. I suppose yesterday was really hot for the guys and then super cold for the ladies. Today has been quite windy. The sun is out at the moment. Temperature-wise, it's not too bad, but when you're in the sun, you definitely feel it, and the holds do sweat. As long as the breeze keeps up, then hopefully the friction will stay pretty good.
Dmitry Sharafudinov now and Akio Noguchi. Sharafudinov, very strong performer in Chongqing just recently. It looked like he was pretty much set for gold until Jan came out and just turned the beast mode on.
And in 2013, he was also finished with a high ranking of
incredibly strong finger strength, prefers the crimps.
No surprise he's going static on this one. He can afford to play it safe. No issues matching on the bonus there.
Nice and quick there to start off with Dmitry, over to where Akio is now starting to approach this final little pop, and much like Shauna, that slow pull up with the left arm as opposed to the full jump there onto the final hold secured that for her as well. Now I know some of you, I can see Paul here saying, well, sometimes it happens that there's one or two easy ones, but then a really difficult one that makes the finish order. We know already, and James, you said it from being out there and even just looking at them straight away, that it looked like the fourth problem, the fourth block on both men's and women's was designed to be a little bit more tricky for the athletes at the very end, that it was going to be the last block that kind of decided the order, and it was the same thing that we heard when we spoke to Thomas Oleski as well.
Definitely keeps things interesting. I think men's two should make some separation in the line as well.
The Yula looking really, really strong at the moment. After her win last week in Chongqing, it's nice to catch up with Udo as well about the difference he likes to employ in his training tactics as well. Yula's been just up and down the car park like crazy on a longboard, skateboard, over the past 2 or 3 days. The whole German team just trying to relax as much as they possibly can. And as you mentioned, there's not really much in the way of people being able to go out and climb on rock or at a gym here. Ooh. Going to mean she's got some making up to do for the rest of the show. Yula taking another look at this one again then as Killian goes straight up to the top on block one. Killian finishing up here then though. Rustam about to come out for us in a few moments time. Yula still fighting here. back down on the ground. 4+ minute basis here in the finals. She hasn't got that much longer left here until she has to be on that wall before the final beeps start coming in. It's looking like she's been called for time here. Just to keep you updated on what's happening at the moment, it looks like one of the local organising team here has reset the clock after Kilian Fischuber finished up on his top a few moments ago, which means that the countdown for Eula has had to be stopped. So Eula hasn't timed out here, it's just that they're not entirely sure how much time she's supposed to have left. So bear with us for a moment. I know that Graham Alderson's running around like crazy at the moment as our IFSC technical delegate trying to sort things out and get Eula back on the wall again, but we are having a bit of a pause here for a moment. So just to go back to that idea on time that we were talking about, when you're out on rock and the difference of being in a competition format, I mean, do you do anything when you're training, if you are ever out or if you're in a gym where you do set yourself a time limit?
In the gym, definitely. I think it's quite important in the comps to be able to do the 5 minutes on, 5 minutes off, be able to perform in that time and to be able to have lots of really strong attempts in that time period. Where I suppose when you're outdoors on rock, it's quite easy. You're running on your own time, you can have a shot, you can have some lunch, you can have another shot, take your time, do what you like. So they don't really cross over that much. If you're strong for comps, then you tend to be able to do okay outdoors as well.
And you were talking about last year and the fact that you were employing a more static technique and having to develop this sort of dynamic approach that we're seeing more and more of in bouldering particularly, but even in lead last year we saw it in Perth. They had double dynos on a lead wall. It was crazy. What have you been doing to help you with that dynos? Is it just more dynos in training, or have you been doing more leg work in terms of improving the muscles there?
Not so much working on the legs. I suppose I don't want to build them up too much, dead weight for me really. It's been more just doing more dynamic moves on the training walls, making up some more different problems, a bit more slabby work as well, because I know that was always a weakness of mine, and just building the confidence that way.
Talk to me about the second block, or was it the third in Chongqing? It was the traverse slab with the jump at the end of it. It was kind of like an amalgamation of your worst nightmare.
Yes,
it was a
definitely.
slab and a dynamic move.
Yeah, it was bad enough just trying to pull onto the slab. The first two holds had no texture under them all, so it was just all in the feet. And then, just trying to work out the combination of left foot first, right foot first, and I suppose that's where it comes down to the whole 5 minute thing. Once again, I didn't do it in the 4 minutes. Dimitri didn't do it, but I do believe he did it in his runners after the comp. So it's not a matter of the problem being difficult, it's just a matter of working it out in the time limit.
And I'm told that you're going to be committing to the entire season this year, right? We're going to see you at every single comp?
All of them bar the second China comp. So I'm going to do 7 of the 8 comps this year. So give it a good old crack.
Well, it's looking like Eula's back up on the wall. We have not been informed just yet of how long exactly Eula is going to have on this clock, but she is back. Heel hook here on the left. She knows what she's got to do now. She's worked through this beater a couple of times. This is the next attempt now. She knows what she's got to do. Just sorting out those feet before she can make that push for the top and relying on that right hand that she strikes up with in a moment. And there we are. So we see a top from Eula. So regardless of how much time she had left, they have let her have that other attempt, and there it is. So Eula with the top then after quite a few attempts. So that's going to put her relatively low down on the lineup here, considering how many flashes we've seen earlier on in the game. The comp now looks over to Rustam Gelmanov and Alex Puccio. As you said earlier, the set up for the semi-finals and for the qualies definitely suited her style. She's had that more F1 that we've got here. What do you think? How are you thinking she's going to be dealing with this? She won't mind the dynamic finish, but the start and moving around the side.
Yeah, definitely won't mind. I think she might like this first one. Yes, it's a bit techy at the start, big drop knee there, but she's moving into some quite good holds for her. And then we know the dynamic style is not an issue for her.
Rustam straight up here to now the penultimate hold. Wasting no time at all. Bit of a guppy with the right hand there. Straight into the pocket. There it is. Still working with Alex then. Over on female problem 1 here. Figuring out the start. Up onto this penultimate hold here. Now then, so it's up for Alex Puccio here. Not too bad for our first set. Then we're going to move over onto our second block now, having a little look at the scores and as they're standing at the moment. Currently, Rustam Gelmanov with the flash. We have Dmitry Sharafutinov with the flash. We have Jan Hoyer with the splash. Kilian Fischuber, 1 top 2 attempts, 1 bonus 2 attempts. Jeremy Bonder, 1 top in 4, and Fuji Kokoro, 1 top in 8 so far. Over to the women's then. We have Akio Noguchi with the flash, Shauna Coxey with the flash, Anna Storr with the flash, Mina Markovic 1 top in 2, but bonus on the first attempt. Alex Puccio 1 top in 2, bonus on the second attempt, and Yulia Verm 1 top in 3 with 1 bonus in the first attempt. In order then, that's our finalists at the moment. Fuji Kokoro then. This is the one that we were talking about a little bit earlier, James, this far end with these crazy hemispheres that are dashed all the way up here.
Yes, the last move on this one looks quite interesting, if you can get up to it, that is.
And then Mina over here on F2. Much more overhung than the first problem. Up to the bonus here already though. What's her tactic on this one?
This one's quite tic-tacky down low, that's for sure, and then moves up after the bonus. You've got your struggle with the feature. Now it'll be interesting to see. I think looking at it, they can actually grab the top of the feature that's sticking out from the top of the wall. Technically it's counted as a hold, so they can use it. Whether it'll help them getting to the final hold, I'm not too sure.
Undercling here now then. Trying to match and switch hands here so she can strike up with the left hand. So yeah, this is the move that you're on about then, James, right? This move from this towards the top?
Yes. I think the sequence she's in right now, she's going the right way.
So that is the case of just switching and using that drop knee in there, trying to apply yourself into the wall as much as possible before making that pop.
Yeah, you don't get too stuck into the drop knee. It's quite hard to launch out of it. So whether you can just put her toe on and go for it.
That final hold as well looks more like a plate than anything else.
Yeah, I think it's a small feature with 2 screw-ons onto it, so you're going to have to get up there and try and pinch or either crimp really hard onto one of the screw-ons.
Okay, Fuji Kokoro with another attempt here on the hemispheres. Up with a heel hook.
So left hand on the bonus there, that is actually the last hold he has. From there he's just on those round volumes. He's going to slap his way up before he can get up to the last move there.
a tough time as well. That's the 1 minute alarm now then. So with that 4+ minute basis here, once this time has run out, that'll be both of these athletes' final attempt. And as you've predicted already, you said M2, James, is going to be the one where these guys run into a bit of a problem. Fuji had a tough time on problem 1 as well, though, bear in mind. If you could make an estimate at the moment, which of these athletes do you think at present is going to be the one that makes it to the top of M2 here?
I think Jan definitely has a good chance. He's climbing super strong at the moment. He might find it a little bit easier to get up to the last feature, or the second last hold in this one, just because he won't necessarily have to do quite as much footwork to get there.
Nina seems to be having a tricky time on F2 as well. Do you think it's a more static approach towards the top, or is she going to have to just push for it?
I think she will have to just push for it, but in saying that, the last volume's not particularly good, so I'm not sure if she'll be able to try and match up on it, and then sneaky move out.
This is looking good for Fuji Kokoro. Desperately trying to mantle on this one, can't quite keep into the wall. Is there anything that he could have done differently there? Is it literally a matter of just squeezing that out?
I don't think I personally would have got my feet up that high. You've got the blue foothold that I think try and stand on that one, and then try and do a big move out to the last hold, possibly get your heel up onto the where your hands are, hand-foot match or something.
So we now move over onto our next set of athletes then. Jan Hoyer, welcome back out onto M2. Now this is the one that, James, you said he's got a pretty good chance of getting on quite well here. And Anna Storr as well onto F2. So Anna Storr here on F2.
She's cruised it so far.
As has Jan by the look of things here.
As I said, this is where his reach is definitely going to come in. We're not going to be able to see some of the shorter competitors doing that last move that way.
Flash for Anna Storr, flash for Jan Hoyer by the look of things here. Jan looking very smiley and happy. So we go over then to Shauna, back out again, and welcome Jeremy Vonda for his attempt here. Now Jeremy is one of the smaller climbers, so as you were saying, the taller guys are going to be able to reach up and really rely on their feet and the reach that they've got there with the height. For the smaller athletes, do you think this is pretty much a no-go zone? Is there any way of getting around this?
I think it can definitely go, that's for sure. It's not out of the line, but the last move is either going to be quite committing or, I don't know, you got to find some sort of party trick.
Claudia getting in touch on the Twitter saying that this World Cup is much more exciting than my revision. And Emily Smith saying rooting for Shauna Coxey.
Looks like Jeremy got himself the bonus there.
Shauna up now onto the penultimate volume here. Now Bonda jumped down earlier during the semi-finals and looked like he kind of twinged a finger or something, and he's just kind of almost done the same gesture again. I'm wondering whether he is climbing on a bit of a twinge there. He's going to need to be careful of.
Yeah, there have been a lot of small holds. There could be the case, that's for sure. Otherwise, there's a lot of friction on these features here, and I know slipping off lots of them, you can lose your skin. So I know quite a few people are struggling with the amount of skin that they have at the moment.
So Shauna, by the look of things, is saying that there's a loose hold here. It hasn't stopped her so far. Very quick top for her. So looking at the rankings as they stand at the moment, then as we welcome, or about to in a few moments' time, our next set out. Jeremy Bond is still fighting here. He's got the bonus already. Talking about methods with some of the shorter athletes and how to deal with this. At the moment, of course, it is Jan Hoyer leading the pack with 2 flashes so far. Clearly out to dominate this season. Now this is the point that Kokoro ran into problems. Same here for Bonda by the look of things.
I did mention there were lots of friction on the features. That's more on the triangles. These round bowls are pretty slick. There's not much on them. Definitely not as much as you'd like.
Bonda not looking too happy here at the moment. 1 minute left for him. Thomas Lawrence saying, come on, Shauna Coxey, windy conditions looking perfect for an English lady. I can back that up. As an English lady, myself. Bonda's still on the mat, 30 seconds left here. He's going to have to get up there if he needs to make another attempt.
The 4+ minutes definitely makes it a different game. Generally with the 5 minutes you do have that time limit. So if you're getting on with 30 seconds left, you've got that in the back of your mind that you've only got 30 seconds, so the clock is ticking. With the 4+, as long as you're on the wall, you can keep on climbing. So it gives you a chance to really concentrate what you're doing, slow down, think about it, and not make any sort of rash decisions.
Would you say that there's less stress involved if it's a 4+ minute basis? You know, if you're thinking that once you hear that beep for the last minute, you've really got to push. In this case, you're thinking, once the beep's gone, it's my time. I can do what I want.
Yeah, definitely. Because as long as you're off the ground, so which is pretty easy to do as long as you time it right. As long as you're off the ground, you can stop, you can regain your thoughts, and then really go for it. The clock stopped at that point, so you can take as long as you like, and you don't have the stress of quick, 10 seconds left, 5 seconds left. There's no issue.
So just to address the elephant in the room, for those of you that are joining us briefly, yes, we can only apologise about the camera work that is happening here. It is local organisers. Unfortunately, we can do nothing about it. We're trying to take you into different shots as often as we can and show you some different things. It's just, we're trying to do the best that we can at the moment. So please bear with us. We try and give you as much coverage as we possibly can. Dimitri now back onto the wall. Dimitri's not all that tall, he's very mid-height. But I think this sort of problem should suit him relatively down to the ground. I mean, he's working with very, very small holes here. And to rely on this mantle, you see straight up onto this section, no problem at all. And inching now. To a top. Very nicely done from Dimitri, another flash for him.
So you can see it's a very different way to the way Jan went.
And Akio here on the penultimate move. Yeah, that top there just looks like it's pretty negative. There's not much going on there at all. Interesting to see Akio coming down there though.
Yeah, the last feature just has a small screw on the bottom of it, so the top of it has nothing. Just holding onto the feature for that. Can't quite see if it's in the sun or not at the moment.
Two minutes left here for Akio to do some work on this one. Looking at Akio's results through last year, We were talking about that comparison with Anna Storr earlier on then. She's 24 years old, she's world ranked second, and she's been second, she was second in 2013 at the end of that season, and also the end of 2012 season as well. She's currently third on the rankings after that third place at Chongqing. And then last year, looking at the results as well, she competed in a bit of the lead there in Cran. She came second. She came fifth at Purs in the lead as well. But then looking at the Boulder results from last year, second place at Vale, second place at Toronto, third at Innsbruck, fourth at Loch Dragomere, and second at Kitzbühel, third at Miol. The last first place positions that she had were back in 2012 in Munich, also in Vienna. But last year really was just second runner to Anna Storr all the way through. And Anna Storr with 7 gold medals last year out of the 8 competitions.
Yeah, you just can't compare with that, can you?
I know I've said it before, but I do like saying it. The one that she wasn't first, she actually came second. So Akio is finished with that one then after a few attempts. That's going to knock her back a little bit here. Just looking at how the results are standing at the moment after her climb for the female athletes here. Shauna Coxey with 2 flashes so far. Anna Storr with 2 flashes so far. Akio Noguchi with 2 tops in 3 attempts. Mina Markovic with 1 top in 2 attempts, 2 bonuses in 2. Alex Puccio with 1 top in 2 attempts at the moment, 1 bonus in 2. And Eula Worm with 1 top in 3 attempts, 1 bonus in 1. Obviously, we've still got some athletes yet to come out, and here is Eula now getting started on female problem 2. We're now back with Kilian Fischuber as well. So Kilian down on the ground here then. One of the taller athletes as well, so we shouldn't find too much of a difficulty here on M2. It's not, now that you can see it a little bit closer there, it doesn't look too bad. You can see she's got, I think it was 3 fingers around the top edge there.
Yeah, little screw-ons as I mentioned on there, so it's all purple, so it all blends in. But there is something there.
So Eula finishing up here. Over to Kilian on M2. Shout out to Scott Strong, who's joining us on the YouTube as well, just from me there personally. Kilian now then up onto the next one. Another attempt here on M2, just under 2 minutes left here for him. Starting to slip, can he cling on to this one then?
He's looking good.
When you're working with things that are quite slippy like this, is it more about how quick you can move on to the next section? You don't want to spend too much time on one of the lower parts on this. You start to climb up yourself, or?
Yeah, you've got to be cautious about it. You don't want to make any false movements or whatnot. There we go. We can see Kilian trying at yarn sequence. His arm's not quite long enough, so he's going to have to try it maybe the way Dimitri went.
1 minute 15 left on the clock at the moment. Jan is looking pretty good at the moment. Wait to see how Rustam's going to get on. Jan at present the only athlete other than Dmitry Sharafutinov with 2 flashes here.
Kilian will have 1 good shot left in him, so he's going to rest up now, get on with just enough time, and then
Looking a little bit worn there, Killian. Will you be attending the World Championships this year? Are we going to see you over in Munich?
We'll see how we go. I'm definitely going home after Laval, so it'll depend how this season's going. If I can get some more time off work and run away for another month or so. It would be nice to be there.
I said it earlier today as well. That I was expecting not to see Killian at the start of this season. It's been a surprise to see him joining us here. Just the fact that we knew that he was starting to gear up towards the World Championships. I know he's been planning on, or he was when I last spoke to him, on doing a lot more projects out in rock.
There we go, he's got the heel up.
Very nice, and the timer has stopped as well, so that's good time usage there from Killian. A bit of time on the mat, collect yourself, rest up a little bit and get out for that one last push. Some interesting ideas coming in here. I think it's going to be a fight between Dimitri and Jan again, like last week. It's a fantastic final back there in Chongqing. Rustam, though, looking pretty strong at the moment. He's been strong all the way through from qualifications into semis. It seems like he's just turned on the Gelmanator drive again from last year.
Yes.
We saw him start to drop off a little bit towards the end of last year. Didn't have a good start to the season in Chongqing last week, but and again here, as one of the shorter climbers, he's going to struggle with this second block, but he's been very, very strong from the start of this one. He was qualified highest in his group. Alex, then, how do we think she's going to be getting on here, James?
We'll see. As long as she can get onto the second last hold there, she's obviously got the bonus now. The last move shouldn't be an issue for her. She's generally pretty good on her volumes. Got a lot of power and a lot of squeeze behind her. But then again, I could be wrong.
Not quite enough. Matt Wilson saying still the thing I'm most excited for in climbing this year is watching Adam Ondra compete in the League Cups. We have the return of Adam Ondra at the end of last year. It's very exciting times.
Yes, I think he is actually registered for the bouldering comp in Innsbruck as well, so we'll see him bouldering.
Is that competitor's challenge then, James? I'll see you in Innsbruck, Ondra.
I'll take him on.
Rustam back down on the ground, 2 minutes here. So we've seen every one of the shorter climbers on M2 have trouble. I mean, Killian struggled all the way through that one, and he's not actually one of the smaller climbers. But is there any other beta that you can see here, or do you think that it is just a little bit of a problem for a shorter guy?
It's definitely tricky because, as I mentioned, the bonus hold is actually the last hold on there. The bonus hold isn't very good. We haven't had a picture of it, unfortunately. But it is quite slopey. It is a small screw on, so there's not a lot on it. So from there, they've got to try and stay on those round volumes. The foothold's not very good either, so it's quite precarious. It's not something you can just jump for or power through.
It's a big pop for Alex there.
So you can see Alex is going up with her right hand, where the other girls are going with the left. So she's trying to got to try and get the match up there. If she's using up the screw-on thumb catch with the right hand, then it's going to be hard to use it for her left, which is ultimately what she wants for the last move. So we'll see if she does the same sequence again or mixes it up.
Restam can't quite get up onto that one to even get into the final position here of leaning across to the top. 20 seconds left on the clock. Back to Pooch then, still struggling down on the mat again. Nice words here from Scott Strong. Lynn Hill said it best, being 5'1", short climbers have to make up with power what they lack in height. Alex is definitely one of those athletes that has made up for it in power, but not quite enough here to see her to the top. Real shame for both of these athletes. Actually, Rustam here, still on the wall. One last push. Come on, Rustam. Not quite enough. Couldn't manage that move onto the last of the hemispheres to be able to get up and lean into the wall enough. But real shame for these two. You know, strong start to the competition. That's going to be a knockback for them mentally as well as on the rankings now as they move into the rest of the comp.
Definitely not ideal, but the thing with the finals, it's not over till it's over, that's for sure.
This final block, we think, is definitely going to make a difference between the setup here. We're moving on to problem 3 now, but we're thinking problem 4 is going to be the trickiest one for both of these athletes, sets of athletes, male and female. So looking at the standings as they are at the moment as we move over onto the 3rd block, Dmitry Sharafutinov leading the pack in the men's with 2 tops in 2 attempts, 2 bonuses in 2. Jan Hoyer there as well with 2 tops in 2, 2 bonuses in 2. Kilian Fischuber in 3rd place with 2 tops in 5, 2 bonuses in 3. Rustam Gelmanov in 4th with 1 top in 1, 2 bonuses in 2. Jeremy Bonda, 1 top in 4, 2 bonuses in 5. And then Fuji Kokoro, who is now back on the wall again on problem 3. So far with 1 top in 8 attempts, 2 bonuses in 9. Over onto the women's then. Shauna Coxey leading the pack at the moment, 2 flashes. Anna Storr in 2nd with 2 flashes. Akio Noguchi, 2 tops in 3 attempts, 2 bonuses in 2. Julian Worm in 4th place at the moment with 2 tops in 4, 2 bonuses in 2. Mina Markovic in 5th, 1 top in 2, 2 bonuses in 2. Here she is again now on the wall on the 3rd block. And Alex Puccio now, unfortunately, from starting this comp and qualifying in 1st place, all the way down into 6th place at the moment with 1 top in 2 attempts, 2 bonuses in 3.
So it looks like Mina's holding onto the holds there, but she's actually not. Those holds are completely slick, there's nothing on them. So at the moment she's crimping on a couple of mil just in that T30 logo. There's not much there.
Down on the ground again already here. So looking at these problem 3s then, we've got a jiu-jitsu hold on the side there that looks like it could come into play, or unless it's being used for F4. There's no black tape, so I'm guessing you can use whatever's there. And on the men's, we're looking at a bit more of an overhung piece here. Looks like some pinches in there as well. What are you thinking of these two, James?
As far as the women's goes, obviously quite slabby. Most of the holds on there don't actually have texture on them. Okay, so we've got the feature. There's a small thumb catch on that hold, the rest of it's non-textured. The bonus hold doesn't really have much texture on it, and then, as mentioned, the next 2 holds are pretty much there for visual, so it's a matter of just holding onto the T3 logo, which we have seen earlier on the comp as well, so people have been doing it even when it wasn't set on purpose, so it is possible. They're reasonably good footholds they have there, so as long as you can keep balance.
Very good slab technique there from her at the moment, really keeping the hips in close to the wall. Back up to this point again though, so nothing on those, as you said. But there is a top from Mina Markovic, very nicely done. For the men's then, men's problem 3. What are we looking at here, James?
To be honest, I think this is going to be another challenge for the shorter guys. So you're pulling on with 2 reasonably positive crimps, low volume for your foot, and then it's either going to be a big move up to those features, move out, and then you've got a nice solid undercling. I'm not quite sure if it's close enough for Jan to be able to static, reach up straight away. We'll find out shortly, I suppose.
I'd like to see that. So Fujikokoro making a little attempt here now then.
So that's two volumes back to back joined together. You can see he's jumping through there. Unfortunately, there's no gap in the between, so it's not going to help too much.
It looks like he's trying to rely on the start hold and pulling him in a little bit as he goes up for that pop.
You can see he's going to the right hand of the two features. Gives him a little bit more opposition with that left hand to the first hold.
Anything in trying to get the feet in as soon as possible with that pyramid you can see just below him?
That'll be the tricky bit. So once you've got your right hand up, hitting your right foot out onto that big volume, and then going as quick as you can, I think, up into that undercling.
Time out for him on that one, so unfortunately no top here. We get ready for another rotation. Welcome back Jan Hoyer, who at the moment is in second place with 2 flashes.
Our next competitors are Jan Hoyer from Germany and Arndt Storr from Austria.
So Jan then, we're thinking whether he's going to be tall enough to do this static. Not quite.
Not quite.
Kind of almost, you know, it was a bit of a slow drive up as opposed to breakneck speed off a cliff. We're going to see from some of the smaller athletes a bit later on. Anna Storr with slabs. Let's see how she gets on with this one. Left foot up. Moving up to these 2 plates now. And
As we can see, there's nothing on that last hold either, so it's just a matter of keeping balance there and getting 2 hands in controlled contact with it. Definitely nothing to grab onto.
Anna's going to be feeling good about this one, and we are looking at the moment like it could be a battle between Anna Storr and Shauna Coxey for this gold medal. Now on countback, Shauna outranks Anna, so if she can keep matching, we could... I'm not even going to say it because I'm feeling like I'm going to jinx it, because I always talk about the elusive medal that is possibly there, and I'm not even going to go there at the moment.
As you said, it's not over till it's over. We can cross our fingers.
I think problem 4 is going to be, as you've said already, and as the Roosters has said, it's going to make a big difference to the rankings. Or not, in some cases, depending on if we get on with it.
So did you see...
Jan looking good here. Gaston, an upside down Gaston here.
Yes.
Interesting. So what is Jan thinking from this point then, James, if he's on this pinch at the moment? Sorry, this Gaston that's just up ahead of him there. You can see the bonus tape there, the red tape that's jutting out the side of that pyramid here. What's the progression once you've managed to do this pop-up that he's doing and upwards from there?
Once you can get yourself established into the undercling, then it should be a pretty simple move straight up to the last hold. Doesn't look too bad. It's interesting to see he decided to go up with his right hand up into the Gaston undercling. It'd be very important to get your left foot established for that move.
That, I believe, was the minute marker there for Jan. Only a few more attempts here.
It's always tricky deciding, do you go the same way again? So close, almost good work, or do you pick a new sequence?
It's whether it feels right. I mean, that was one of the things that I think everyone was screaming at you in particular last week on that tricky traverse slab. You know, you'd got the beater down, you knew what you had to do. It was just a matter of holding it and that move across there. Just being at whether you feel good or not. As you can see, he's got his feet up onto that side now. 20 seconds left here. This is the other thing as well, for somebody that's as tall as Jan, to become compressed, not necessarily compression, but to compress yourself physically can be quite difficult when you've got all these gangly legs and arms floating around. It wasn't a comfortable position for him, just not his boulder, clearly.
No, so whilst the first move might have suited him, the second one definitely didn't. So we'll see if the other guys can make their way through it.
It's a massive opportunity there now for Dmitry Sharafutinov to start leading the pack a little bit more, make up for Chongqing last week. Jeremy Bonder out now though, so whilst we actually said for the shorter climbers it might not be so good, it's actually the middle section here looks like it might actually help them. The start maybe not so much, but we saw from Fuji Kokoro earlier on that pop-up can be quite difficult to latch onto, but once you manage to get that, actually being shorter as we saw from Jan there, it might actually be an advantage.
Yeah, maybe it gives the full package, there's no advantage.
Shauna now then. Finished up in 4th place in the overall World Cup rankings at the end of last year, losing out to Alex Puccio at the end of it. She also broke her leg during that year, so I suppose it's forgivable. Very slow and steady here. And that is a flash again here from Shauna, putting the pressure back onto Anna Storr. This is getting serious now. This is the kind of thing that we want to see. So one more block to go for these two athletes, and they're both leading the female category at the moment. Shauna Coxey with 3 flashes, Anna Storr with 3 flashes. They're the only two so far to have managed that. Akio Noguchi has 2 tops in 3 at the moment, before we see her in a moment's time. Jeremy Bonder then was in 5th place at the start of this block with 1 top in 4 attempts, 2 bonuses in 5. 2 minutes 40 left on the clock here for him. Trying to figure out how to get up onto this, this first move. Gone for the left. Gone for the pinch here and moving along with the pinches.
You can see it's quite windy out there, so good conditions on the features. He looks pretty comfy on that hold. There we go.
Undercling here then and looking good. That's the bonus. Now for Jeremy Bonder.
Now from this point he's going to be quite compressed, so trying to get the power out of this up to that last hold will be interesting.
Sliding a guppy up there when I look at
Can you
the
get
right arm.
Can you get a knee bar in there?
Into the crowd. Well, he's definitely found a beat of shorter athletes there at the start. Down on the ground, knows that was the minute alarm, so just 1 minute left for him to work this one. It's looking like he's going to run it down to one last attempt. Seconds here, so if he does come off he might get one more attempt out of this. Here he is, Jeremy Bonder. He's figured out the beater at the start, going up into the left side of this volume with pinches, then moving across and getting his feet up into an undercling on the bonus in a moment. Not quite enough, so that was a short attempt. He's still got 10 seconds, he's got to use it. Back on the wall. So the timer is now up. This is it, the last attempt for Jeremy Bonder on men's problem 3. There's the guppy again. Is he going for the knee bar again, James?
Might be just a little
attempted. to get that second leg up, and then he's going to be in a really awkward position. It's how to keep one hand on and send the other one up to the top. You can see that tiny little hold there.
It's not good, that's for
just
sure.
Above him.
It's far from a jug.
He can't go fast, he's got to go really slow.
Come on, Jeremy.
Really keep the hips in towards the wall as well. This is where 8 would come in handy.
Yes, that's for sure.
Oh, unfortunately
Just
not.
misses out.
From Jeremy Bonder, great effort there though, manages to get the bonus. Really good effort there from Jeremy Bonder, but unfortunately no top for him. We move on to our next set of climbers. What are you guys at home thinking of the blocks so far? Let us know, get in touch with us on the hashtag using the hashtag on Twitter, IFSCWC. Chief route setter here, Thomas Oleski. Also working with Jackie Godoff, who helped set last week's blocks in Chongqing. With Matthew Dutre. Let us know what you're thinking of them so far. So, Akio Noguchi and Dmitry Sharafutinov. Now, I know a lot of you are waiting to see how Dmitry gets on with this one. He's in the runner for the gold here at the moment. Fighting with Jan Hoyer.
On our third prop, Akio Noguchi from Japan, and on his third problem as well, Dmitry Sharafutinov from Russia. Currently #1 in the world.
Akio already up to these 2 plates on the T30 sign. Dmitry straight up to the top. So Dmitry all the way to the top and Akio Noguchi all the way to the top. Then looked like a flash there from Dmitry. Question coming in from Matt here saying, what's the minimum age for these comps? Is it 16? It is for the senior category, yes, but we also have the World Youth Championships going on as well. We've seen Grace McKeon from the US start to move into having an attempt on the senior season, and not do too badly actually either, in both speed and bouldering. Amoka Oda, former World Youth Champion. She's been competing here as well. She's the World Youth Champion in lead, and she's been competing in Boulder just recently. Ruler here now. And a straight flash there from Eula Worm as well. Very nicely done. No problem really for any of the athletes on women's problem 3. They seem to have had a pretty easy time of things.
I said, yeah, it's quite slabby, but a really good feet. So on the slabs, it tends to be the bad feet, which really stuff you up. But if you can get yourself established, keep yourself steady into the wall, then definitely makes it a lot more comfortable.
How do we think Killian's going to get on with this one?
He definitely generally has the skills for it, so hopefully he can pull it out and make his way through. We can see the sun is on that volume, so it definitely doesn't help things.
Plenty of time here to rework any changes he might need.
We saw Jeremy smearing with his left foot to do the first move, and that seemed to help him quite a bit.
Killian just cleaning a little bit. Looks like he's broke one of the brushes there, trying to get stuff sorted for this next attempt. 1 minute 25 left on the clock. Another attempt then for Schubert. It's looking like he's wanting to go over to the right-hand side. Let's perch for the middle instead here. That's the 1 minute alarm. Method of that, not quite right.
It's kind of tricky. We saw Jeremy, as you said, establish himself on the left-hand side and then move himself to the right gradually. I suppose the way Killian's doing, he's going further right, so it makes it for a harder move to release the left hand because he's got more weight off to his right-hand side. Touch and go, which way it's going to go.
Moving over with those feet as well from that position. When you're more on the right-hand side, it seems to be that you're more compressed, as it were, whereas if you're kind of more in the middle with both hands matching up a pinch. Well, Jeremy is shorter as well. He's had an easier time of getting his feet up onto that one. I remember Killian in Millau last year had a similar problem to this section around the bonus here. Once you've got your feet up and you're in that kind of double undercling squat going on. There was one of them in Millau in the finals as well. So he should be kind of okay if he gets up to that point, but he's a lot taller than a lot of the other guys. And it looks like he's calling it a day on that one. Question in from a Jakob asking why Jakob Schubert isn't starting the Boulder World Cup this year. That's due to a finger injury, unfortunately. We're not seeing Jakob. I'm told that he is back at training and that he's okay. He's on his way towards recovery, but that he's focusing on the lead season this year, so we're looking forward to seeing him in the lead comps later on in the year. Straight up from Rustam, though, no issue there whatsoever. Straight into the bonus. Is he going to get the second foot up before going up? No, straight up to the top. Then secures the left foot and then matches on the top there. Rustam making up for some earlier issues clearly here. Galmanov back on good form. Let's have a look at what that's going to do to the overall standings at the moment as we go over now then and have a look at how Puccio's getting on female problem 3. That's just pushed Rustam Galmanov up into second place with 2 tops in 2 attempts, 3 bonuses in 3 so far. So 2 flashes for him and then a bonus on the first attempt of another block here. Sharafutinov still holding the lead of the male athletes with 3 flashes so far. It's looking good and a good setup here for the win for him. Jan Hoyer in 3rd place, 2 tops in 2, 3 bonuses in 3. Killian Fischuber in 4th, 2 tops in 5, 2 bonuses in 3. Jeremy Bonder 5th and Fuji Kokoro in 6th. Alex Puccio though, fighting here, down on the ground again. Not comfortable with this. In terms of style for this, she hasn't really got anywhere to use all this power. She's having to rely on the more slabby technique and the balance.
Yeah, ultimately her power can't be put to use. As I said, the holds are slick, so there's nothing. She can't pull. It's just a matter of balancing her way through it. And it's a completely different style, as we said, from the qualies and the semis. So really testing her skills out here.
She goes with another attempt then. Really wide pinch here, trying to hold herself on using that thumb catch. Anything she can be doing differently here? Is it a matter of just using the feet a little bit more?
Yeah, she's definitely going quite a powerful approach. It looks like she's actually trying to utilise that bonus hold. We saw Shauna just touch it, she tagged it, she controlled it, and then she moved out left hand out to the other holds to establish herself. So that hold once again is slick. So if she intends on pulling on it, then she's going to struggle. Not saying it's not possible though. Just definitely not the easiest sequence.
Alex going again here now. Then looking at the standings for the female athletes at the moment, where they are. It's currently Eula Worm. By the
See
look of
Alex
things.
going sneaky beta. That's very good. See if she can pull it off. Not quite.
So at the moment, Eula Worm is looking like she's in third place behind Anna and Shauna, obviously, that have the 3 flashes.
Time is up. So this is Alex's last attempt.
Doesn't look comfortable there at all. See her shaking her head, not sure how to work on that one. Okay, so now we start to look towards the hardest block that we have been told here for both of them, for M4 and F4, men's and women's final boulder. This is the one that we've been waiting for.
Setters did say that this one is the hardest. I like the look of it though. Looks good.
So looking at the 2 different ones that we've got here on F4 and M4, what are we looking at in terms of style on both of these?
I suppose the women's ones, as you get a little bit higher, looks quite shouldery from my sequence anyhow. Looking at it from a guy's point of view, I'm not sure if they can work out a different way to go about it. But they've got some slopey holds, nice shouldery sort of move, and then a big move up into the end. Once again, that feature they're using there is reasonably slick. I got to play on it in semi-finals, and it wasn't as good as I'd hoped. So.
Have you used a Jiu-Jitsu hold before?
No.
They're a big feature, pun not intended, of the Kitzbühel final last year, designed by Laurent Laporte. I like them because they're a bit of everything. You can get up inside them, you can sit in them, you can use them as footholds, as handholds.
Gonna move out into this Gaston now.
She has the bonus already here. She's trying to get a knee bar in there, but not quite enough, and dinging out again. Now just having to think of what to do from here.
Here we can see Mina going for another attempt.
Another attempt here then now. Up to the top of the Jiu-Jitsu and then up into this side pull here. She's going to try a different beta here, or is she going to do the same thing?
This is the powerful move, trying to get the weight shifted over to the left hold. She does.
How positive is the foothold on the left here? That angle there of the pyramid looks pretty steep. She's switching back over onto the volume before. 1 minute alarm has gone. She's looking better this time. She's got the undercling going on, but it's where she goes from here. 50 seconds left.
This is where it comes down to committing for that last move there. There's no playing it safe here.
What the position with that foot on the bonus though to try and get up and round. She's got her hand up to it now. She's a little bit too high with the feet there. What do you think she needs to do at that point there, James, to try and get a little bit higher up? a little bit more securely on, should I say.
Yeah, not sure if she'll be able to reach it off the lower volume rather than having to get so high into it. That's time for Mina.
Time up, unfortunately. The timer has gone, but Fuji Kokoro is still on the wall. This is our glimpse of M4 then for you at the moment, which was F2 earlier on today during the women's semi-finals. This is going to be really interesting for some of the bigger guys. Unfortunately, not quite enough. From what you've seen of this and what it looks like as a block, what is the tactic with this?
Looking at it, it's quite a tricky move to pull on, establish yourself onto the boulder, because you've got the feature as your first hold to the left hand. So as that gets through, it's going to get a little bit trickier. Move your way up into the roof, and then from the rooflet, there's not much on that hold from what I can see. Moving out to the bonus, and then the next hold is just a thumb catch on the volume. And then you just go commit feature to the final hold. Unfortunately, the final hold isn't the jug at the moment. So you've got the jug facing down, so you've got to try and establish yourself on it with a nice heel, I do believe, to get the match.
Okay, so this is where it's going to get really interesting now. Then we go over and welcome back Anna Storr out onto the mats, and if she can flash this, the pressure is most definitely on Shauna Coxey. Will be coming out next after her. It comes down to the last block here for these two athletes. No issue so far. Anna's climbed on these holds before.
Cruising her way through.
So is Shauna into an undercling here, now getting that foot up a little bit higher. Anna looking really solid here at the moment. Big swing out, but no issue at all for the top there. Anna Storr flashes this problem, which means it now lies on Shauna being able to flash this one. Due to countback, they are divided, and Shauna is a little bit higher up there, which means that if Shauna can flash, she takes the gold. If not, Anna takes the gold, and Shauna has to yet again take the silver. Anna Storr's going to be feeling pretty good about herself right now, especially after Chongqing last week.
Yes, the pressure's definitely on Shauna. She's sitting back in isolation unless she's got headphones on. She can hear the crowd, so she has a good idea as what is going on. So if she's going to win it, then she's got to pull it out.
Over to Jan Hoyer then, starting off on M4. We get a bit of a better glimpse of this one now, and this very awkward position he's about to end up in as a taller guy. Actually, no, it's just the ape's actually helping him. Oh, very, very nearly. So the first section is not causing too much of a problem for Jan. Saw a little glimpse then of where he's got to get once he's got past the roof. Left on the clock. Yeah, I'm going to do some housekeeping here before another go. Letting the timer run down a little bit here. Going to run down the last minute, still looking at that upper section, or is he going to have another couple of attempts in this time? Seemed to breeze through that early section there. Now we can see the top section of the wall here. Now what's he got to do once he's over this this ridge and onto the upper section?
So we can see he tried to get his heel up then, keep his left hand in the bonus, go right hand up. I think it's going to be tricky to go that way. I'm not sure if he'd be better off leaving the bonus with his left hand and then just trying to go 1-2 quickly into those two features, using a bit of compression to stay on rather than that slopey heel on the feature. Looking at it, I'd personally want to try and go 1-2, but could be very different from my point of view.
Using a lean out this time. Oh, and just as the time runs out, Jan is going to be devastated by that. Just got into a bit of an awkward angle, and down he comes. Jan Hoyer, who was until moments ago in third place, and potentially hold it unless Killian really pulls something out of the bag now. It is down to Killian. Jeremy Bonder out then, and now we go over to Shauna Coxey. This is it, the big moment for Shauna Coxey. The potential for a first gold medal if she can flash this problem. Is today the day? Or will it rest with Anna Storr yet again?
And from Great Britain, Shauna Coxey.
It has to be a flash. Onto the jiu-jitsu. She's being called down here for incorrect start by the look of things, so that wasn't a drop down. Don't worry about that. It's one of the judges saying that you're not matching the starting holds before you begin.
Well, technically that'll count as an attempt.
Jeremy Bonder here going up into the roof, unfortunately coming down again. We will cut back to Shauna as soon as we possibly can. Okay, here we are then. Up to the top of the jiu-jitsu now. Standing on the jiu-jitsu onto the bonus hold now on this side as well. Gaston on the side here, trying to get a bit of higher position. She leans out, slow and steady here now. Foot onto the bonus hold. I do believe we've just seen Shauna Coxey take her first ever gold medal. I will get it checked due to that start and the fact that she was pulled down. I believe that was for an incorrect start and shouldn't class as an attempt, but I will get it checked. Give me 2 seconds and we'll find out whether that will be a first gold medal for Shauna Coxey or not. As we stick with Jeremy Bonder for the moment. Hold for the moment. Bear with me on this one, guys. James has kindly ran off to go and find out exactly what's going on here and whether that was it. I'll let you know as soon as I do. It's looking like we have some issue here with the techniques going on. Could be a loose hold, possibly. That looks like Thomas Alexi out on the field. Okay, I have some news for you guys while we're waiting for this break. You're not going to like it. Apparently the reason Shauna was called down from the wall on the first attempt was because she got pulled down for touching the mat after she'd pulled off on the first attempt. So apparently her foot touched the mat as she went to pull up onto that first attempt, and that has just cost her a gold medal here. That makes it a second attempt to pull down for that one, which means that Anna has taken a gold here instead. Not that it isn't deserved for Anna, but I'm not going to comment on any more of that one, James.
So it's painful.
It is very painful. Anyway, waiting for Jeremy Bonder here. Looks like we've got a technical incident going on, so we're just waiting for something to be sorted out on the ground before Jeremy can carry on. So it was all over in that first moment before we even saw her begin.
All
really.
done. She pulled on, the right foot came off, and yeah, got called for touching the mat.
Now she did contest it when she got down. She turned around and said, "I didn't touch it at all." So maybe, I don't know, maybe we see an appeal.
Yeah, we'll
here.
see what happens.
Wait and see what happens. So bear with us a few moments, we'll see what's going on. At the current moment in time, that means that Anna Storr flashed a single problem here. At the moment, Shauna has 4 tops in 5 attempts, 4 bonuses in 5. Akio Noguchi has 3 tops in 4, 3 bonuses in 3. Putting her in 3rd place. Yula Verm in 4th at the moment with 3 tops in 5, 3 bonuses in 3. Mina Markovic in 5th with 2 tops in 4, 4 bonuses in 4. And Alex Puccio in 6th with 1 top in 2 attempts, 2 bonuses in 3. Over on the men's, looking like Jeremy Bonder is about to start again on M4. At the moment, Dmitry Sharafutinov in 1st place with 3 tops in 3, 3 bonuses in 3, and he's more or less set for the gold here, as I know some of you have spotted, depending on what Rustam does and how Dmitry fares on the final block. Jan Hoya in 2nd place at the moment. 2 tops in 2, 4 bonuses in 5. Killian Fashuba in 4th, Jeremy Bonder in 5th, and Fuji Kokoro in 6th. So with just over 2 minutes here, Jeremy Bonder gets started again. Actually, looking at the clock that's on the ground there, it's just under a minute that Jeremy has left here instead. Jeremy down again. It's looking like they're working on a manual clock here down on the ground because they're having issues with the main clock in the venue. It keeps getting reset and going back to 5 minutes again. So at the moment, we're not entirely sure, sorry, 4 minutes again. So we're not entirely sure what's happening at the moment. I'm being told that's time up by the beeps. And that is it, apparently. So not entirely sure what happened there, but no top there for Jeremy Bonder, unfortunately. So let's have a look, just as we're about to welcome out our next athletes, at what just happened with Shauna. We're going to try and see if we can have a look again at that first pull onto the wall here. So watch her feet. Unfortunately, we've got a guy's head here in the way. 1 foot on, 2nd foot there. Pushes up. That looked like a reaction there from her. And somebody shouts the judges that are there by the look of things and says stop her for that. It is unfortunately the only angle we have of it. There is someone's head in the way. We'll have another look at it a little bit later on. Wait and see what happened. It definitely did look like there was a reaction from her foot there, like nerves-wise, you know, you touch it and you panic and shift the leg back up again, so maybe not. Akio Noguchi then here. And Sharafutinov, this for the win for the men's gold medal.
Akio has the bonus. And so does Dimitri.
Big swing out here for Dimitri, managing to hold on so far. Not enough. Now this could make a difference to some things here. Dimitri is down here, didn't manage the flash on the first attempt. Keo up to the final hold. There is a flash for Akio here now as well. Dimitri back down on the mat. Now he had 3 tops in 3, 3 bonuses in 3 before this final block. Rustam Galmanov has 2 tops in 2 attempts, 3 bonuses in 3. So Dimitri about to make another attempt. If he tops, he has no problem, and he's still got 1 minute 40 left to do that, so we would expect to see a top here from Dimitri Sharfutnov based on how he's been running for the rest of his competition. It's where to go now, Dimitri, that's the problem. Any ideas on this one, James?
We can see he delayed after going up the left hand before going with the right. Body spun out. He did manage to control it, but I think if he can go 1-2 and then just squeeze between those volumes, he might have a better chance of staying on.
So while Dimitri's waiting for another here, then again I can tell you that they are currently dealing with an appeal here based around the Shauna incident. The judge is now having a look.
Last attempt for Dimitri.
Time now down, and this is the difference between the gold medal for him. Down, no top on the final block here for Dimitri Sharfutnov. A massive window of opportunity has just opened up for Rustam Galmanov. Then he did take the bonus on that one, did he not, Dimitri?
I believe he did, yes. Not sure if it was on his first attempt or not.
And that's what's going to make the difference here by the look of things.
It does come down to bonuses.
And that is so long as Galmanov tops as well.
Fischer from Austria. Julian gets right at it.
3 tops in 3, 4 bonuses in 4 it is showing at the moment, which means that Dimitri did manage the bonus on his first attempt.
Checks out the start.
Which will mean that if Rustam flashes the final attempt, he will have the identical score to Dimitri Sharfutnov, and due to countback, Rustam will then take the gold medal, but he needs a flash at the very end. We wait and see. Okay, Killian here now then. Gulliver.
Okay, Killian's got the bonus. Bonus a chapter, Killian. Julian, bonus a chapter. Julian also has a bonus. Killian makes the move up.
Killian desperately trying to keep his body in towards the wall there, doing all sorts of crazy tricks. anything he could do here to try and stop that turnout? I mean,
Well, we can see he went the right heel up. Unfortunately, he's still on the feature, so there's nothing really to oppose on when he goes up with that left hand. So that's the heel coming off is what generated that spin. Whether he can go the 1-2 or it's a matter of getting that right hand up as fast as you can. Or being really, really, really strong.
Killian's still down on the mat then. Eula just finishing up there. A very nice finish for her as well. That's not going to make too much of a difference to her placement at the moment, but it might help her hold on to the 4th place. At the moment, we have Anna Storr in 1st place, Akira Noguchi in 2nd, and Shauna Coxey in 3rd. On the women's, in the men's, at the moment, still Dimitri in 1st, Jan Hoya in 2nd, and Rustam Gelmanov in 3rd. It's all going to depend on this last little section here.
Minute 20 left on the clock for Killian.
This is minute alarm to let him know that this is the last minute counting down and time to get back on the wall. Took a lot of time analysing the upper section of that route there. Another attempt from him there. He'll hook up with the left.
Looks windy out there.
Powerful the wind is, yeah, at this point. Into the roof, out for the bonus. Slower this time. There's the swing out. Heel coming up now. Trying to pinch here. Not quite enough. 15 seconds left on the clock. Come on, Killian, get back on that wall. And he does.
One last chance at it.
Last one for Killian Fischuber. Top this, it might make some changes overall.
And he's off.
Unfortunately, no top for Killian there, though, either, after a very strong start, all in all.
Looks like a very powerful move there. We can see Killian came off.
Well, the ones that we've got left still to come then. Rustam still to emerge. And Alex Puccio, the final block here now approaching. So this is it then for Rustam. It all comes down to this, and it being a flash, this could give him his first gold medal and show him definitely back into Gelmanator form for the rest of the year. He's had that tricky start. Already done exceptionally well so far this year. This competition. To have performed as well as he has. Made it into the finals in first place, and that is it, guys. As quick as that, the gold medal slips from his grasp. I do promise as soon as we have a decision made on the Shauna incident, I'll let you guys know as soon as I do. Here we go again with Alex Puccio and Rustam Gelmanov. So this, you would say, is much more her sort of style. The final problem, it's a powerful one. You're going to have to really use some... She's shorter as well, so it should help her with this crossover.
Yeah, you
We're
wouldn't
looking at
expect
Flash,
any issue with this one.
I mean, we've seen it time and time again as well.
She's definitely got the shoulders for this next move. She looks flustered.
2 minutes on the clock. Galmanov starting to move into this roof section now.
You can see the mental game must have got to Alex on this one. Hasn't had the best final round, so a problem like this you should usually be able to flash pretty easily. I suppose that's what it comes down to with the comps, the mental aspect, having the 4-minute time limit and being faced with four individual problems, trying to clear your mind before each one and not get suckered into a negative attitude.
Minute 10 left on the clock here. Lots of things going on around us at the moment. Lots of judges' decisions being made, watching footage and things. I'll let you know as soon as we know.
We're within the final minute now.
And Pooch wants to finish on a bang here. She's had a tricky time of things from a very strong start. Currently down in 6th place, 1 top in 2 attempts, 2 bonuses in 3. Remember, she came into this final in 1st place. That's why she's the last out, as did Rustam. And whatever happens, Rustam has the bronze.
See, Alex is in a different sequence to the other ladies. She's correcting that now, getting her right hand onto the bonus. This is where she can use some of her power.
That's the time up. And Rustam's just come down, unfortunately, which means that Jan Hoyer is going to take the silver medal here. Puccio, tough call for her. After what looked to be very, very promising through the qualifiers and into the semi-finals, really tough call for her here in the finals. A repeat of Chongqing yet again, here now in 6th place. At the end of that one, Galmanov settles for the bronze medal here, and Dmitry Sharafutinov is the gold medalist. I am told that we are still discussing exactly what's going on with Shauna, so bear with me a little moment and we will try to find out what the decision of that appeal is going to be for you, and then as soon as we possibly can, we'll be over there with interviews and chatting to these guys also. So please bear with us for a few. We'll try and bring up in a few moments the results as they stand. James, thank you very much for being with us. Any shockers for you at this one? Any ones that you thought you'd see some of these guys triumphing a little bit better at some of these blocks?
No, it's been good, interesting to watch from this aspect. I suppose no real huge surprises after looking at the problems in preview. No, they approached them in different ways. They tackled them. As we saw, the last one did look like the hardest. No top on that one for the guys.
We did say from the very off that this was a very contradicting style to Puccio. You know, we were used to seeing her in the semis and the qualifiers doing very, very well, and here we've seen something a little bit different. I mean, I thought this final one, you know, she should be able to muscle her way through, but maybe just a little bit tired now. She's done the semis earlier on today, so, and also, you know, as some of the guys are saying here as well, Scott saying the confidence is gone by this point.
Yeah, as we said, the mental aspect is a huge thing of the comp. So once you lose it and you get onto a bit of a streak, it can be quite hard to pick yourself back up and keep going, and it looks like that's what happened here. She saw she was out of the running and then really struggled.
So let's have a look at the results as they stand at the moment. Then I'm going to leave you for a moment just with those on there while I go and find out exactly what's going on with this Shauna Coxey appeal, and as soon as I know, I'll inform you. But these are the results that we have at the moment based on the performances. Just Anna Storr in 1st place, Akia Noguchi in 2nd, Shauna Coxey in 3rd, Eula Worm 4th, Mina Markovic 5th, and Alex Puccio 6th. Over on to the men's, Dmitry Sharafutinov in 1st place, Jan Hoyer takes the silver, Rustam Galmanov takes the bronze, Kilian Fischuber in 4th, Jeremy Bonder in 5th, and Fuji Kokoro in 6th. That's the results as we have them at the moment. We'll leave you having a look at those, and I'll be back with you in a few moments' time. Okay guys, I've just got back from the judges. They have made a decision based on the footage that they can see. They've used the local TV footage as well to have a look on the map. And they have ruled to turn down the appeal, unfortunately. There was a touch on the mat, a dab there, which means that the results will stay as they are. Shauna Coxey takes the bronze medal here. Akio Noguchi takes the silver, and Astor takes the gold medal. That is official from the ruling of the judges here. Unfortunately, the dab is enough to cost her the title, and I'm now going to go and get some interviews, if they'll speak to me. Bear with me a moment. Dmitry Sharafutinov, a gold medal. The first, no, the second this year. How are you feeling?
I'm so strong, but I won't do all flash. But everybody looks. Today. It's not my day. Not possible today, but I'm very happy.
So, were there any points on the wall that you were struggling, or that you thought you weren't going to manage to get there? The last block looked pretty tricky for you. How was it? Is it a tough final boulder?
What?
The final boulder, this one was tough. M4.
Я не понимаю.
Was it hard today?
No, today is not hard, but I feel my power, and it's and hot and sound not problem today for me.
We saw Jan in Chongqing obviously taking that gold, and that was just away from you. This is what I meant at the start when I was talking about 2 goals. It was 1, but so yeah, it was so close there. Here again, challenging you. Are you noticing the other boys are strong this year?
Yeah, I think now Jan and Rostam have very good shape, and I look it, and it's cool. It's bouldering, everybody now is very strong.
We have the World Championships this year. You are world champion, so we're moving on to you trying to keep the title. Are you excited for it?
Now I don't think about World Championship because World Championship is so nervous. And, for me now, I don't think about this now.
You're focusing on the World Cup.
Yes.
But what about what do you do from now then for Grindelwald next week? You go home for a little while, or what's the plan?
Yeah, I come back to Russia, and after I go to Grindelwald and Innsbruck. It's okay, yeah.
Over to America as well for the rest of the year. You got Toronto and Vail.
No, not Toronto, just a Vail. And after national championship, Russian, it's a very important start for me, and I think for everybody, Russian guys. And see you.
Dmitry, thank you for speaking to us.
Yeah.
Well done. Go get a medal.
Thank you.
Dmitry Sharafutinov. Took a couple of seconds, and I'm going to try and bring Anna Storr over to us now. She's just waiting here. I'm going to bring her in. We'll have a chat with her as well. Don't know where I pulled 2 gold medals from. It's 1 so far. Jan. Anna coming in. Flash Central, this one wasn't it? How are you? How are you feeling?
Yeah, I feel really happy. Yeah, what is that to say?
Were you expecting it to be a tough final, a tough draw between the athletes here? I mean, it was kind of like a powerhouse final. There was a lot of very, very strong female athletes here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think we're all a little bit upset because 4 girls did 4 boulders, and it's not an ideal result, not at all, because we tied in. Like 1 attempt goes down to Akio, then 1 attempt goes down to, Akio and Shauna, they have to go down to countbacks, and it's definitely not an ideal result because we would like to battle, and like this it was a little bit are you lucky, are you unlucky, and today I was the lucky one.
Did you find it challenging at all at any point? I mean, did you think when you were coming out into observation, when you were looking at them, do you think you were in for a rougher ride than actually ended up being the case?
Yes, definitely. When we looked at them, we all thought that it would be really hard, and I was fighting hard. I'm not saying that it was easy and I just flashed them all easily, but of course you have to do your best to flash them all, but anyway, it's not ideal.
What was it like in isolation back there when all of you are sitting around and somebody's going out and 3 seconds later they're coming back in again? Did you all start speaking at any point?
Yes, definitely we start speaking. I mean, in general, it's a very friendly atmosphere. I really like that, and we're having a good time, and that's important. I think that's what makes the comp fun. Sorry, I mixed it up.
So you had the tricky time at Chongqing at the start of the year. You were straight through to the finals, but I mean, for you, I don't know how that felt to not be on a podium for the first time in a year. I mean, and now you're starting to come back, obviously, clearly a gold medal again here. How are you feeling the start of the year has gone for you so far?
Well, it didn't feel so bad. I mean, I'm aware that you can't be on the podium all the time, and I just didn't It wasn't my day in Chongqing, and but I knew that I'm not far off, and well, yeah, I had a good start, and I'm continuing to climb strong, I hope.
Grindelwald up next, more in the environment that you're used to, not so windy, not so hot. Are you looking forward to the next set of comps?
I definitely look back to have comps in Europe. Also from the organization point of view, I think it'll be a lot more easier for the route setters, because you also have to think that they got the mats on Thursday, which is not ideal. It's a hard job for them as well. So I think it'll be easier for everyone.
Anna, congratulations, gold medal, well done.
Thank you.
Anna Storr, I'm going to let you go off and get ready. I'm going to try and bring in Shauna. I know that she was waiting around here a few moments ago, so give me 2 seconds and I'll see if we can have a chat with Shauna Coxey about this as well. Shauna, that was an interesting one, wasn't it? How are you?
I'm good. Yeah.
How did you find the competition on a whole? I mean, we were just talking to Anna. She was saying that when you were observing beforehand that you thought it was going to be a harder comp than it actually turned out to be, that a lot of you found it kind of quite simplistic getting through it.
Yeah, when we read the boulders, we thought they were going to be really hard. We didn't expect them to be as easy as they were, which is a little disappointing, but yeah, it wasn't the best setting, but you know.
And then we had this stuff towards the end, which I wanted to talk to you about, this dab situation, gold medal down to a bronze. It's still a medal, and that's amazing in itself, but that must be quite devastating as an athlete to feel.
I didn't feel a dab, so I had no idea. So we appealed and it came back that I did, so I mean, it's just a little disappointing with the way the route was set, because both you and I got pulled off, so you know, I don't know, it's just one of those things.
So you weren't alone in that one as well. It's been something that's happened to other athletes.
Somebody else.
So we're moving back to Grindelwald very shortly, and we're moving back to Europe, and you're going back home. Now, we've had Chongqing just recently. You did very well there. We've just come over into Baku. You've done well here again as well. Are you feeling like this is a building momentum for you, like you're on good form at the moment?
Well, I hope so, because there's a lot of comps to come. Yeah, I feel really good when I'm climbing, so that's cool. And I couldn't have climbed any better than I did today, so yeah, I've got to be happy with that.
And you've been away from home for quite a while, haven't you? I know that you and Mina have been around since Chongqing, and I think you're going straight to Grindelwald as well, aren't you?
Yeah, we have 1 week in Zurich and then a week in Innsbruck, so we have 2 weeks today we get home.
So it's basically a month away from home.
Yep.
Does it affect you at all, or do you like being away? Do you like the travel?
I don't know, it's a good question. I'm finding out. I've never really been away for this long before without anyone from home, so yeah, I mean, it makes it a lot harder, I think, but it's also nice to not have the travel, so yeah, we've got to compromise somewhere.
Bronze medal, second comp of the year, only up from here. Shauna, congratulations.
Thank you.
Nice to speak to Shauna. Well, all I can say at the moment is that they are still organising the medal ceremony and the awards, so we're going to be going over to that in a few moments' time. I will try and track down as many of the athletes as I possibly can. A little bit chaotic here at the moment, so please bear with us. I'll be back in a couple of seconds.
Attention, the winners of both speed and bouldering contests are kindly asked to proceed to close to the wall speed, very close under the screen please. Böylelikle artık bouldering ve derecede sürat yarışmasının galipleri xahiş olunur ekrana yakınlaşsınlar. Teşekkür ederim.
Akio, how did you find the boulders here? Was it a good competition for you?
Yeah, I feel good and I think it's good competition.
a big gap before the end of last year and the start of this year. There's a 6-month period there where everyone just sort of disappears. What have you been doing in the time in between?
I train hard and I can back to the World Cups. When I stronger than before, but the other girls growing up.
We saw you last year, and a lot of you guys, Sachi in particular as well, is starting to do bouldering and lead. You're doing 2 disciplines. Do you think it's a good move for you? Are you enjoying doing 2 disciplines?
Yeah, I think so. I enjoyed both, but every time I'm thinking for choosing, like it's good or tired or yeah.
Does it help your training, do you think, if you're doing more lead competitions and bouldering? Do you feel better in both for doing 2? It helps in how strong you are?
Yeah, I think so because we need some endurance and boulder move also for both.
And obviously in lead it's helping you because you've got the difficult boulder moves as well, yeah?
Yeah.
So, silver medal here, fantastic performance all around. You found the blocks were good and you enjoyed being here. We're going over to Grindelwald now. Are you looking forward to being in Grindelwald?
Yeah, for sure.
And the rest of the team coming across as well, like we had Fuji Kokoro in here in the finals as well.
Yeah, he's first final in for her, for him. Yeah, he looks so enjoying, but looks so nervous a little bit.
Do you ever get nervous at this stage anymore, or are you just used to being in finals? Is it normal for you now?
Yeah.
Yes, it's normal.
Yeah.
Okay, Akio, thank you very much for speaking to me. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm going to let you go and grab a medal. Jan Hoyer, second comp of the season, another medal. How are you feeling?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, I really like this comp, and when I saw the wall the first time, I had no idea that I would be able to make that well, because it's not too overhanging and the holes look pretty small, and the roots, as I said, they only had these small crimps and volumes, and both things that I really don't like. So I'm really happy with the third place and with my climbing in the final.
There was a couple of moves there or specific boulders where you really had to kind of condense yourself. Now, for someone from your height, did you find that extremely difficult?
Yeah, well, I think that's what bouldering is about. Sometimes it's harder, sometimes it's easier. On the second one, I had a really big advantage because of my height. I could easily reach to the top. On the third one, it felt a little weird to get into the undercling. I think that's cool.
You've been working a lot on flexibility recently. You were talking to me about that you were trying to cut weight recently at Chongqing, and also on flexibility. Are you finding that it's changed your style at all overall at the start of this year?
Yeah, I think a little bit. I feel more comfortable on these bunchy climbs with high feet, and I'm feeling actually kind of strong on crimps. Like, yeah, nowhere near to the Russian guys. And I think they want me to go to the award ceremony.
Okay, Jan, thank you very much. Well done, silver medal.
Thanks.
Okay guys, well as you can probably see there, we were getting ready for our podiums and the presentation of the athletes of their medals and the awards ceremony. Apologies for having to interrupt the interviews a little bit short. I will catch some of the other guys later on. I had Killian there, but we'll get him next time, don't worry. So we are going to have to pass over onto the awards ceremony now, and I'll join you in a few just to say goodbye in a few moments' time. I have to thank James Kasey for being with us as well. Just missed out on a spot in these finals, ended up in 7th place, just missing out on being one of the final 6, but fantastic news for Fuji Kokoro making it through to this stage, and great to catch up with Akio as well a moment ago also. Thank you for being with us, and please stick with us while these guys get their just desserts, their rewards, and I'll be out in a second just to say goodnight to you all.
Bayanlar ve canavlar, yarışlar müvəffəqiyyətlə başa çatdı. İndi isə mükafatlandırma mərasimine başlayırıq. İlk olaraq sürət üzrə medallar təqdim edilir. Bununla bağlı birinci qadın qaliblər dəvət olunur.
Ladies and gentlemen, our sport competition has finally come to an end, and now we're about to start our awarding ceremony. First, we're going to start off with the medalists in speed, and hence we're inviting first woman winners.
Bürünc medal, Fransa, Anouk Jobert.
Bronze medal, France, Anouk Jobert.
Gümüş medal, Rusya temsilcisi Yulia Kaplina.
The silver medal goes to Russian representative Yulia Kaplina.
Ve kızıl medalla Rusya idmançısı Maria Krasavina.
And the gold medal goes to the Russian athlete Maria Krasavina.
Mükafatlar IFSC nümayəndəsi Granalderson Fireworks'ın birinci vitse-prezidenti Firdevsi Əliyev tərəfindən təqdim edilir.
The awards are being handed out by IFSC representative Mr. Brian Alderson and Ferex first vice president Mr. Firdevsi Əliyev.
Hədiyələr Azərbaycan Hava və Ekstremal İdman Növləri Federasiyasının nümayəndəsi Sarvan Rəsulov və Gənclər və İdman Nazirliyinin nümayəndəsi Aydın Məmmədov tərəfindən təqdim edilir.
And following presents are being handed out by the representative of the Azerbaijan Air and Extreme Sports Federation, Mr. Sarvan Rasulov, and the representative, the official by the Ministry of Sport and Youth, Mr. Aydın Məmmədov.
İndi isə Rusiya Federasiyasının himni səslənir.
Now national anthem of Russian Federation.
Təbrik edirik. Əziz qonaqlar, dəyərli idmançılar, indi isə kişi idmançılar dəvət olunur. Bürünc medal, Çin Xalq Respublikasının təmsilçisi Gikin Zong.
And now it's men's time. The bronze medal goes to Mr. Gikin Zong from China.
Diqqət, kişi idmançılar dəvət olunur.
Now men athletes are invited to the podium.
Buyurun. Bürünc medal Çin Xalq Respublikasının təmsilçisi Gikin Zong.
People's Republic of China, Gikin Zong, bronze medal.
Congratulations. Gümüş medal Rusya temsilcisi Yevgeniy Вайчаковский.
Silver medal goes to Russian athlete Yevgeniy Вайчаковский.
Примите наше поздравление. Кызыл медал Украина темsilcisi Данила Болдырев.
And the gold medal goes to Ukrainian athlete Danilo Boulder.
Дуже цікаво. Поздравляємо. Şimdi ise Ukrayna himni seslenir.
Now the national anthem of Ukraine.
Mükafatlar təqdim olunur.
Now the presents are being handed out to the
Tüm
athletes.
iştirakçılarımızı bir daha tebrik edirik. Hatırladık ki mükafatlar IFSC nümayəndəsi Graham Alderson, Firex'in birinci vitse-prezidenti Firdevsi Əliyev tərəfindən verilir.
And once again, presents and awards are being handed out by IFSC officials Graham Alderson and Felix Vice President Mr. Firdevsi Aliyev.
Hədiyələr Azərbaycan Hava və Ekstremal İdman Növləri Federasiyasının nümayəndəsi Sarvan Rəsulov və Gənclər və İdman Nazirliyinin nümayəndəsi Aydın Məmmədov tərəfindən təqdim olunur.
Presents once again are handed out by the Azerbaijan and Extreme Sports Federation's representative and official Sarvan Rasulov and the official from the Ministry of Youth and Sport Mr. Aydın Məmmədov.
Və qalib ölkəsinin himni, Ukrayna himni səslənir.
The national anthem of Ukraine. Once again, our sincere congratulations.
Mükafatlandırma mərasimi devam edir. Hörmətli xanımlar və cənablar, indi isə Boulder üzrə medallar təqdim edilir. Bununla bağlı birinci qadın qaliblər dəvət olunur.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, we're proceeding with medals in the bouldering contest, and hence first women athlete winners are invited.
Bürünç medal, Büyük Britanya, Crux Shauna.
Bronze medal goes to representative athlete from Great Britain, Crux Shauna.
Gümüş medal, Akio Noguchi, Japonya.
Silver medal goes to Akio Noguchi, Japan.
Və nəhayət qızıl medal, Avstriya, Anna Stor.
And gold medal goes to Anna Stor from Austria.
Avstriya himni səslənir.
Please be upstanding for the national anthem of Austria.
Və mükafatlandırma mərasimi davam edir. İndi isə kişi idmançılar dəvət olunur. Bürünc medal Rusiya.
Men athletes are invited.
Rustam Gelmanov.
Bronze medal goes to Russian athlete Rustam Gelmanov.
Gümüş medal Almanya Jan Hojer.
Silver medal goes to Jan Hojer from Germany.
Kızıl medal Rusya Dmitry Sharafutdinov.
And the gold medal goes to Russian athlete Dmitry Sharafutdinov.
Наши поздравления. Bizi hatırladı ki mükafatlar IFSC nümayəndəsi Graham Alders'ın Paris'in birinci vitse-prezidenti Firdevsi Əliyev tərəfindən verilir.
Once again to remind all of you that all the presents are being bestowed by officials from IFSC and Crux Vice President Mr. Firdevsi Əliyev.
Hədiyələr Azərbaycan Hava və Ekstremal İdman Növləri Federasiyasının vitse-prezidenti Sarvan Rəsulov və Gənclər və İdman Nazirliyinin nümayəndəsi Aydın Məmmədov tərəfindən təqdim edilir.
Which are followed by the presents which are also being handed out by the officials from the Azerbaijan Air and Extreme Sports Federation representative Mr. Sarvan Rasulov and the official from the Ministry of Sport and Youth Mr. Aydın Məmmədov.
Və Rusiya Federasiyasının milli səslənir.
The national anthem of Russia.
galiplerini tebrik ediyoruz.
We once again congratulating all the winning athletes.
Поздравляем всех победителей сегодняшнего мероприятия. Şimdi ise söz IFSC numarası Graham Alderson'a verilir.
Now we're passing the floor to IFSC representative and official Mr. Graham Alderson.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being with us throughout the competition here in Baku in Azerbaijan, our second IFSC World Cup section of 2014. Both speed and boulder have just been awarded for two different disciplines, two different sexes, their awards at the end of this competition. Next week sees us in Grindelwald in Switzerland, and we do hope you can come and join us for that one, for another round of cups, and we'll see you very shortly. I've been Daniel Finn. Thanks very much to James Casey for being with us throughout today, and we'll see you very shortly. Good night.